Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video, I hope it's going to be a very quick video. I just wanted to speak with you about working decks and what does it mean. Of course, we all different, we have different preferences, we have different taste and different methods of working in the tarot world. And to some of you, you just can have, your favorite special deck and you will work with that deck for years. But for me personally, as time went, as I did practice, as what I have learned, this is only my personal opinion. Of course, you can have a different opinion. For me, a working deck is going to be always the classic. I have like many decks, of that type. Some themed deck, which I like. For instance, I really like this Witches Tarot. It has good images, it is very sharp. I like it. You can understand what is going on. But sometimes those images can change the interpretation of the cards. And it happened in my practice. Because, it has too much scenery. It has too much of different details. And it can play out as an oracle deck. So I used to work with those decks. I used to really enjoy working with those themed decks, but eventually I just got, I don't feel the energy of the cards. I just don't feel. Like it has too much details, too much of unnecessary details. It can have different interpretations. And sometimes the cards are actually working, that they are showing to you the meaning based on the image. And then you're confused, you just don't know. So what is going on here? So for instance, I will prefer to stay with the classics and learn the classics from the beginning till the end. And I think it has most energy, it has most accuracy, because here you don't have different unnecessary images. Everything that you have here is basically the symbolism, and it can really help you in the reading. Yes, of course, you can also be creative, you can have your own interpretations, which is great. I just find out that I always coming back to this deck from different Rider-Waite themed decks. I always coming back to here, and especially if I'm doing a reading for a person, for clients, I prefer to do that in that deck. Like I always go back to the basics. For this video, the Thought Tarot can be also appropriate, but I don't have it here. So this is my working decks. For now, actually, as you know, my favorite deck is the Ancient Italian Tarot. And now this is my working deck. Also very classic, it has rich symbolism, very interesting. To all of you who are doing and mixing witchcraft, the esoteric, the occult with tarot cards, the classical decks are more powerful. If you're doing rituals with this deck, it will work, and it will work really good. But with those decks, this is just like, how to say, it is, I don't know, I cannot take it seriously. I think I already spoke about that in another video, but it looks like, how to say it, like some postcard. It literally looks like a postcard. I mean, the images with all of those, you know, computer printing, like it does not have any weight. Yes, I do love those cards. I use them, but not for rituals and not for serious readings. I will always go back to the classics. And here you can have rituals, you can use the cards because this is more meaningful in my opinion. And of course, as I told you, I did practice doing some magical rituals and they're absolutely working great with classic tarot. If we're taking some card, we're knowing what the symbolism is meaning through colors, through some other symbols. You see, we have here Taurus, and like, what is this, how it's called, like, what this pineapple got to do with this? What this pumpkin got to do with that? Okay, yeah, of course I understand, like, it is abundance because we have here fruits. But for instance, for me, as a person who is on a specific diet, I'm on a carnivore diet, for some of you who don't know, for me, fruits are meaningless. You see? So for me, in my mind pattern, in my reality, fruits are basically nothing. They represent something worthless, like in my worldview. So this is why I'm really not a fan of all of those thousands and thousands of themed tarot cards. Of course it is interesting, of course I will buy more, you know, and of course maybe I will do even myself a themed tarot deck in the future. But still, for now, the powerful ones, in my opinion, those are the classic tarot cards. Also, in this specific card, this is such a horrible work. This copy-paste Photoshop situation here is really bad. Although I really like this deck, don't get me wrong, I'm not a hater, I really like this deck. So anyways, what are your working decks? And what do you think about this subject? Also, another thing that I wanted to mention, I think the Visconti, not this specific, you know, this is only the trump cards, but I think the Visconti deck is very interesting, and also, like, this is the first deck in the world. It can be very a workable deck, but for me, I cannot work with all of those blonde people. This is like the most turn off for me because it's too much. All the persons here, they are all blonde. If it has more diversity, it would be a very nice deck, but this is just very, like, annoying. It's too many blonde people. But for the most part, I really like this deck. I think it's amazing, really good deck. Just if they had diversity. So, anyways, thank you for watching and see you in my next videos.